You all get it! Oh, you all get it!
Oh my god. Jesus.
Stealth. Stealth. Stealth.
The fucking shitload of bodies littering the streets.
Stealth. I'm stealth gamer. Stealth.
Hello and welcome to the inaugural episode of Bit by Bit. Bryan and I both love playing video games. Say hi, Bryan.
I'm Bryan, and I love video games.
And we like to... I personally like to flaunt my knowledge of video games.
Oh, yeah, I think if anybody's guilty of a little bit of video game snobbery, it would be A1 Mr. Kyle.
Yes. So we thought this would be a good idea to kind of maybe expose people to games they might not have heard of. Also break down to our knowledge what makes a good game.
What makes a good game, and kind of take turns going bit by bit.
Oh.
You see what I did there? Through our video game history in a way, and take turns kind of seeing games. There are a lot of games that you've played that I haven't played. There's a lot of games that I've played that you haven't played. And we're going to take the viewers and ourselves on a journey.
Either back in time or just as recent as last week.
I was about to say, because I think a lot of the time, a lot of yours we're going to be going back in time. And I'm a more modern... I mean, I've been playing games since I was 4. I've had an Atari, a PlayStation 1. I've had games since literally I was a kid, but my favorite games and the games I play the most of are modern games.
I was born to a game console.
Yeah.
Like, my dad literally had a NES before I was born.
Yeah. So. My parents, we've had like literally Ataris and everything. It's from as soon as they came out. My dad loves computers and video games and all that kind of stuff, and I've had it forever.
We're gonna start this one off on one of my all-time favorite games,
and I have not heard. I hear about this game once a week, probably.
It's really good, Bryan. It's Thief 2 by Looking Glass Studios.
Yeah, that one.
So, Looking Glass Studios was a company in Massachusetts from like 1992, and then they defected in like 2000 because
to Cuba?
Money.
They defected to Cuba.
Or defuncted, whatever.
I don't know. Sorry.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
They defuncted in 2000 because of money reasons. Also because their publisher kind of sucked. And as we know nowadays, still kind of sucks. This was a game that was developed as initially what you interpreted as a sword fighting simulator.
That's how you fucking play this game. That's how you play this game.
It was originally called Dark Camelot, and you were going to play Mordred, and you were going to basically fight through Arthur's knights to get to him.
So I played this game. I'm sort of a Thief 2 hipster. I played it the way it was meant to be played. The way it was originally intended to be played.
So the first game came out. It's called The Thief, The Dark Project. Mm-hmm. The Dark engine is what this was built in, and it's got some wonky components to it. Yes. You may have noticed.
I noticed a few weird, some things.
Doors not always opening because you're in the way.
Yeah.
In the original game, it had a weird thing where you could, if you jumped the right way, you could gain infinite momentum, and if you did it enough times in the right way, you could literally exceed the velocity of gravity and not hit the ground.
That's pretty sweet. That sounds pretty cool.
I did that in one of the Thief 1 missions, and I literally died because I hit a wall.
We're exceeding maximum velocity!
What the hell was that? Spaceball 1. They've gone to plaid.
So we sat down the other day. I purchased this on Steam
for a grand total of.
It was like $4. Well, it might have been $6. I don't know. It was cheap. It cost nothing. And this might be the oldest game I've played in a while. Like I was trying to think earlier.
Let's get into your first impressions.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to say. Just to set up my impressions. I think this. I'm trying to think of another game I played that was this old recently, and I can't think. And it's from what, 2000?
2000, yeah.
I can't think of a game I've played in the last 5 or so years that was 15 years old. I don't think. Oh, short of like playing an arcade cabinet or something somewhere,
yeah,
but like an actual like PC game or console game or something like that. So, first impressions. We should also state this. I am not a stealth gamer guy. I don't really like stealth games, which will be evident from the gameplay footage you'll see of me playing this game. Although I will say it is pretty sneaky. I was pretty sneaky sometimes. You all get it! Oh, you all get it!
Jesus.
Stealth. Stealth. I was actually impressed, but first impressions, I was like, what the fuck do I do in this game? What the fuck? How the fuck do you... Here's the thing. There's something to be said for modern games over-explaining how to play their game and that sort of thing, and sort of holding your hand a little too much. I think I prefer that to games just being like, hey, fuck you.
They told
Fuck
you
you.
what to do.
No. So the first thing I did was it gets into the mission and the little thing pops up. Well, the first thing I did was I looked, because I was like, oh, this is hard to look at. And I looked at the resolution, and the max resolution was like 800 by 600. I was like, oh, God. All right.
It's so good.
On my 1920 by 1080 monitor, it does not look so good. But the first mission, and I get in, I hit new game, get in, objective start, and it's like the first objective at the very top says, when you're ready to go in to the, you had to go break some guy or break some girl out of a room. Or
It says, when you're ready, comma.
when you're ready, comma, play your, when you're ready, that's all it says.
Yeah.
When you're ready, play your whistle to tell Basso that it's time to go. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, well, I'm ready, because I'm ready. And so I blow the whistle, and he comes out and walks in the thing and immediately gets killed.
That was the fastest fail I've ever seen on that mission.
Okay, here's the thing. It doesn't say, once the way is clear. If it said that, if it said, once the way is clear, alert Basso. No. It says, when you're ready.
I guarantee you, this was in the intro
That we
to the
talked
mission
over.
That we talked over.
All right, fair enough.
I guarantee you.
I'm going to go back and watch it, and we're going to figure this out. And I'm going to let you know, and then you're going to edit it in and say I was wrong or I was right. I'm fine with it.
I'll sneak in after dark and clear a path for Basso so he can rescue his damsel in distress.
I'm fine with being wrong. I'm just saying, I might have missed it, but I was like, okay, motherfucking game. Why didn't it just say, all it needs to say is, clear the way, and then alert Basso. Clear the way, and then alert Basso. That's all I have to say, and then it's fine, and I have no problem. But that's not what it said, and I found it really annoying, so I failed immediately. And this is after I rebound all the keys, not all of them, but like half the keys, because
There's a shitload
there's
of stuff.
100 key bindings in this game. Like literally every key on your keyboard is a different thing. So I rebound all the keys to things that made sense, or at least somewhat made sense, like putting crouch on C, novel concept. And then I guess that's just a new. I guess that's a modern. I guess that's a modern thing. I don't know. To me, it just makes sense to have crouch on C, but it was X, I think, originally, which fine, it's not that weird. But and you make it F or something.
I make it F.
You
I make it.
fucking weirdo.
I think that was what the original thief binding was, and
okay.
I can't stealth any other way.
That's fair. Fine, fair enough.
Even when I played Deus Ex, I had to bind it to F.
No. So then I finally got going and got to do some sneaking. And as stealth games go, I think I enjoyed it. One, because you don't have to be that stealthy. At least in my experience of the first two levels, I was able to kind of just do whatever the fuck I wanted. Like
You were in some areas that were very
and we were also
stealth
playing it.
friendly.
I was also playing it on normal and not, I
Yeah.
was playing on the lowest difficulty setting, which was normal, not like easy. But like I was just able to just kind of run around and club the shit out of people. Although my very first experience clubbing somebody, I totally whipped, which was pretty sweet. Oops. Nailed it. That first swing, it's a little off. But I thought the mechanics were satisfying. I thought it was and I was trying to do my best to put myself back in the year 2000 and imagine playing this game, which is really hard to do now because I've played a million other stealth games and I don't even like stealth games, but I played, Splinter Cells and fucking just dozens of other stealth games by now. And I can see this felt very advanced mechanically for the time period. If I had to guess, without going back and looking at other games, I was like, there's lots of interesting things of putting out lights and blah, 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 this and that. You can make your footsteps quieter, and you have flash bombs, and you have all these cool, fun gadgets, and like it felt like, I don't know when Splinter Cell came out, the first one, probably like that.
2003,
Yeah, a
something like
few
that.
years later. And so this felt fairly advanced and sort of groundbreaking, if I had to guess, in terms of I guess the first one.
The first one came out in '98.
Yeah.
Nobody had even come close to even thinking that a first-person stealth game was doable.
Yeah. One of the things that I noticed that I thought was kind of silly. So there's an item that allows you to stealth into your feet, or you can shoot a moss arrow down. I was able to sprint around and club people without them.
There's a reason for that. Is because you were in the area. You were very early in the game. That's when the difficulty levels,
Right.
There, you get to places that have marble flooring. You get to play places that have metal grating.
Okay.
And for some reason, Garrett wears his tap dancing shoes to work.
Okay.
Because anytime you step on, it's like clink, clink, clink.
Okay, fair enough. I thought it was interesting because I was just
I will say,
moss arrows
are your best friend later in the game.
Yeah, I can believe it. I just thought it was funny. I'm like, what's the point of being quiet when I can just sprint down a hallway and then with a guy's back and just hit him right in the back of the head, and then just sprint on to the next guy, and just nail him.
So, what did you think of the NPCs that you would run across?
Like the enemy NPCs?
Yeah, the enemies.
I thought they were fairly responsive. There were times where I felt like they should be able to see me that they couldn't. But it's hard because I guess I could have played it for 8 hours. But playing the first 2 or 3 missions or whatever, it's tough to gauge what the difficulty is going to be like and how it would change later on. But I had some issues at times where I was like, okay, I'm right in front of them and they don't see me. Like I'm right in front of them and they don't see me, and it seemed a little silly, but. Apart from that, I thought there was and I don't know how groundbreaking this is, but being able to shoot, make noise, and distract them and send them over. I could see this felt very much like the people who made Splinter Cell loved this game. You know what I mean? Like they saw this game and go, okay, we're gonna take that, we're gonna take that, we're gonna take that, we're gonna take that.
Yeah, like they have arrows they're called noisemaker arrows.
Yeah,
they're literally designed to draw somebody's attention towards them.
Yeah, but the thing I thought was really funny is that, and again, this is probably just because it was on a low difficulty, but when I did alert them and they started to fight me, I very quickly discovered that the easiest way to dispatch them was get out your sword and circle strafe them, and just slash them over and over.
I've stated, if you do that in more difficult settings, you will lose immediately because you can't kill anybody.
It's fair. I grant that, but it was just funny playing on the normal.
You left bodies in the streets.
Okay, I have a very I don't like stealth games. So when I play stealth game, I'm just gonna fucking kill everybody. I don't give a shit. I'm not here to make friends.
They can't notice you if they're dead.
Yeah, I'm the best thief in the world because there were literally no witnesses at the end of that level. They were all dead. They were all dead. All dead. I do want to talk about I think my favorite part of the whole gameplay, or the whole time we were playing, was because I felt like I felt I got the vibe while you were watching me play this game that I was like violating like some sacred. I'm playing this so wrong. It's like watching sitting behind your grandpa like browsing the internet and just click on you're doing it wrong. Just click on no, you're doing it wrong. No, you're doing it wrong.
I had of watching you play as a thief is out the window.
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. I'm like, I'm not doing it wrong. I'm killing everybody. And there was this one moment where I'm up on a balcony, and there are these 2 people below, and I'm like, I'm gonna drop down and kill him. He's like, you can't do that. And I'm like, fucking watch me.
Honestly, I thought you were waiting for a button prompt for like, sky assassination.
That's what you meant. No. I was like, fucking watch me. Turn on that slow fall thing and jump off the balcony, land right behind him, bam, right in the back of the head, clubbed them both, nailed it. And then the next time I did it, I 360 no scoped him. So pretty much MLG here. Cue the horns. Where are my Doritos at? Where's my gamer fuel?
Speaking of that mission where you went on a killing spree, what do you think of the climbing mechanics of the game?
Oh my god! I am not a fan of the platforming in that game, and that's something that I don't think changes regardless of how late in the game.
It's something you definitely have to learn.
I guess, and I get that, but it felt so clunky to me and so not intuitive.
Yeah.
And just like
I'll give you that. On a lot of areas, it's a little weird.
It's just like the times it would work where I would catch and climb up a ledge, I felt like I did nothing different than the 3 times before that where it didn't work, and I was just like, this that didn't feel good. The things that did feel good that I really but that was infuriating. You could put in my fail montage now, right here, of me. It's like, fuck, stupid, fucking piece of shit, fuck, just climb a fucking ledge! That's how I felt the whole time with the fucking platforming bullshit. But I thought what was really satisfying, I thought that the archery was cool. I liked how that worked. I liked being able to snipe people as they're running away from me. Again, being a terrible thief, just shooting everybody with my bow and arrow. But I thought that was cool. I liked things felt like when I liked hitting people with my club. Mm-hmm. I liked being violent, basically. But I liked it felt good. It was very satisfying when I clubbed people and they were like, hunk, and passed out. And I liked that you could pick them up and hide them. All that stuff. I guess my biggest thing is that it's hard to go back and play a game like that now for me, because I'm just like, we do this better now. Guys, we took what you did. Great job. You're great. We're standing on the shoulder of giants here, but it's better now.
I'm going to disagree. I think this is still better. And the reason it is because of three main things.
Yeah, you go.
That is the interactive storytelling it does. The fact that they tell you things without having to stop the game and say, hey, player, pay attention for a second. Mm-hmm. In the first mission, you didn't get to this point, but there is one of the storage rooms has a gear that is surrounded by candles and has like a prayer altar to it. Now that's supposed to be a sign that the mechanists, those security robotic people throughout the game, that's a sign that they have some sort of infestation into these manors and these rich people's houses. And that leads to the whole plot being basically stopping them from trying to take over the elites. There's the level design. The level design in these games is phenomenal. These games the levels are huge. They're expansive. Yeah. They stop you from going to places that you probably shouldn't be going to. And if they let you go to that, they show that you're suffering the consequences by going there.
Yeah, I felt that a lot in the second level, because the first level is pretty linear. Fairly linear. The second one, I thought what it did a good job of, it makes you take your time. I mean, I didn't, but but I would normally probably, and it makes you take your time because it's very easy to get lost.
Yeah,
so you're sneaking around in this environment, and for one, it's a stealth. You're trying to be, because you don't want to, because normally if you get into combat, you're fucked. I had this feeling constantly where I'm like, okay, because it's this big warehouse type area thing, and I thought it did a really good job of making me go, okay, because you have to. It's how I imagined I would feel if I were sneaking through a sprawling warehouse of like getting turned around and then pulling out my map and being like, okay, now is that hallway? And then you know what I mean? Like that felt very that worked for me and like what it was supposed to do. Now I just sprinted down hallways and clubbed people. But I got that was how I would feel if I was playing the game the right way.
Yeah. And then my third thing is the map. How like there's no mini map. The map you open is if it's well known, such as a manor that somebody works at, they can get you a map of it. A warehouse, they can get you a map of that, no problem. If you go spelunking into like tombs and shit, people don't know what that looks like, and the maps you get kind of reflect that.
Yeah. Well, I thought even the ones for places like manors and warehouses, they were very crude and clearly hand drawn maps, and the labels are kind of vague
to me it really adds whenever you don't know where the NPCs are necessarily, and you have to. And the sound design in these games is phenomenal.
That was one of the first things I noticed, which I thought was really astonishing, because there was a moment where I was like, where the fuck? I hear a person. Where the fuck is this person? And it turns out they were on the floor above me. Mm-hmm. And which makes sense in an old building like that, because it would the floor, it wouldn't be very well insulated, and it would be easy. You could easily hear somebody walking around and talking above you. And I'm sitting there, I'm like freaking out. I'm like, where the fuck is this person? And I'm like trying to find a door that I think like, are they back in this corner? No, where the fuck? And then realized they were above me. And then as soon as I realized they were above me, I'm like, oh, was that a dumbwaiter that I saw earlier? And I saw a dumbwaiter, and I'm like, and now I was a little disappointed that I couldn't burst out of the Dumb Raider and fucking stab him in the back of the head.
But like those are the things that makes this game great, where you can hear something that draws your attention. Yeah. They show you a thing that you can use in the game to advance further. Yeah. You took the key right off that guy.
That was dope. I wrote up that I was, like I said, I was disappointed that I couldn't come out and just club him, but I was able That's hilarious. I come out in the dumbwaiter and I grab like a plate or something. I steal a plate off the table, and then the guy walks up next to the dumbwaiter, and I'm like, sure. And I took the key or whatever off his belt, which I'm like, I think he would have seen. I think he would have
And
noticed that.
like and the objectives they give you are very small in comparison to what is possible in the level. As you see, like at the end of a level where they give you a recap,
Yeah.
there's just a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, well, it's
that
like, oh, you missed. I mean, the first level, they're like, you found 3 of 13 secrets, and I'm like, I felt like I was in every room. I guess I wasn't. Like, I felt like I went to everywhere for the most part, but I guess I didn't.
The story in these games also is very well presented. Like the first one is basically a conflict of chaos versus order. The second one is basically usurping government in a lot of ways. And the way they tell these with, like an altar here, people having a conversation over here, and they just kind of bleed that into the main narrative.
Yeah.
And a lot of games nowadays are just very exposition dump so you know what's going on.
Yeah, and this is a discussion for another day about our opinions on video games. But you say that I hear you say that, and I don't disagree. There are plenty of games like that. I think this year is not playing the right games, and that's good. That's the whole point of the show to an extent. Is like you like to shit on modern games a lot, and I don't disagree to an extent. But I really think you're jaded towards modern games to an extent.
Probably.
And
I'll
I
give you
think
that.
I can help you and be like, look, Kyle, look at there are good games
Kyle
still.
needs therapy.
Good games exist still. They show me where the game touched you. Show me where modern gaming touched you, Kyle.
Right here.
Show me on the show me on the Yoda where modern gaming touched you, Kyle. But no, I think that is
Right here at contextual button prompts. Right there. Because anything that basically has a pre-made animation that is something that you might not want to normally do, kind of pisses me off in modern games.
That's fair.
It's like in this game, this game had like the most recent Thief that came out has nothing but contextual button prompts.
Oh yeah.
And holy crap, it really takes away.
I don't mind contextual buttons sparingly and used correctly. I can't stand them when it's constant.
Here, I'm going to put in a knockout from the new Thief and a knockout from this Thief and show you exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, say, a lasting impression of this game, what did this game show you about either A, the era, or B, the
genre?
The era genre it was made in, or what kind of effects you think it might have had on the industry?
Well, I can absolutely see if I should have done some. In the future, we'll do a little bit more research. I will at least. I should have looked and seen a timeline of, and maybe I can just drop it in here, of when like Splinter Cell and like basically where this is on the timeline of stealth first-person games, or I guess Splinter Cell's third person at times. Yeah, Splinter Cell's third person, but it's the same. It's close enough. And I'd like to see where it fall in that timeline of like where it is. But what it feels like to me, and because I know it's earlier than the first Splinter Cell game. First Splinter Cell game was like you said, like 2003 or something, I think. And I could see this as this is the grandfather of these games. This is the thing that all the people who made every stealth action game in the last decade played this game and drew from this game and improved on this game in ways, not all. I'm not, but improved, and I think I don't think that's a diss on. I think it's a compliment to the game that it was inspired developers to do, to take what they did and did really well and really, and be like, this is good. We got to do more of this. So that was the lasting impression, and I think the other thing is that I was able to. I had a point. Hold on.
We're getting to it.
When we started, I had a thing I wanted to say. Now it slipped out of my head when I was talking.
Have you played Dishonored?
Yeah.
The Thief is basically, and a lot of people will say this, Dishonored improved Thief in every way.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's it getting? They'll argue Dishonored improved Thief in every way, but like Dishonored even has a lot of dumb things there we go. And Dishonored has a lot of dumb things with it that kind of Thief wouldn't do. Namely, one of the things being that in Dishonored, you are a silent protagonist in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But there's a problem with it is that you're a silent protagonist, so they allow you to do the Half-Life thing of throwing any personality you want on it.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett has a very specific personality. Only problem with Dishonored is you have a character who has a pre-existing relationship to most of the other people in the game. So they have an idea of what they expect out of you and react to that accordingly.
Yeah.
Does not work too well.
I'm gonna be honest. I played Dishonored. It's actually in my Xbox.
There we go. That's how much you liked it.
It's been a while. Well, but I didn't play a ton of it again because it's a stealth game.
Yeah.
I honestly picked it up because there's I don't know. This is a plug for this guy. Not that he has millions of viewers, but there's a guy named like Stealth Gamer BR or something who plays stealth games, and his fucking Dishonored videos it made me buy this game because it's the shit he does is so mind blowing. Anyways, that's off topic.
Yeah.
But the thing I liked about Dishonored and I thought was cool. And that it's not that it took everything Thief 2 did and improved on it. It took a lot of similar things. What I think it really did was it took Thief 2 and made it an action game.
Yeah, which is not what Thief 2
It's not,
is.
but they're different things for different audiences.
Yeah.
If you want...
That's what they tried to do with the new Thief game, is make it an action game.
See, and that's I think that would be a mistake. If they took Thief 3 and made it more like Dishonored, that's a mistake. They can be two different things.
No,
You can have I think there's a place for a game like Dishonored for people who want more action-oriented stealth game, but then leave Thief be.
See, and this one came out in like 2010,
10 maybe.
something like that. Anyways, this game came out like a decade later almost.
Yeah.
And its sound design, I guarantee you Thief kicks its ass in sound design. Because nobody thinks about that shit anymore.
Yeah.
The new Thief has god-awful sound design compared to this game.
Huh.
Cause and people, I don't. I guess that's just where we're headed. Is that the only sense we have is literally sight when it comes to a game.
There are games like that, but there are plenty of games that aren't. This is what we're gonna. I think I'm gonna be able to show you if you, like I said, there's some astoundingly well designed sounds in games. That was a butchered sentence. There are plenty of modern games that have incredible sound design. I just think
there are several who do, but like maybe they don't necessarily do the same core system that Dishonored would do, which is about being concealed.
Yeah.
Which is, as you know, sound it becomes very important with.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's enough bashing on Dishonored.
Yeah, it's a good game.
It is. I'll give it. It's a fun action-packed game.
Yeah.
That is a fun action game.
But you can play it. You can play it.
You can totally do it stealth, and I did it.
Stealth
I tried
without
doing it
killing
stealth.
anybody.
Yeah, and I thought that was nice. And this is. I thought it was nice that you could do it. Turn into a fucking Dishonored review. I thought it was very nice that you could do it without killing them. The only problem I didn't like was the fact that you basically were told what to do to pacify them.
Yeah.
And that just felt kind of like missing the point of storytelling.
Yeah.
My last impression I got with Thief is how to play a stealth game.
Yeah.
Which, whenever I try to implement that with other games, say Bethesda games, where it doesn't work that well because Bethesda games are not built around stealth.
Yeah.
I'll do like Skyrim and try to be stealthy, and I'll do an action that makes sense, and then the game doesn't reflect that, and it's like, guess what? You're getting mobbed by like a bunch of ogres.
Yeah. I remember what I was gonna say. My lasting impression with Thief 2 is that if I liked stealth games, I would finish it.
Oh.
No, that's a compliment.
Oh, okay.
With
okay.
Thief 2.
I thought that was just a general blanketed statement of stealth games. That if you liked stealth games, you would finish them.
Oh, that's true too, of just in general. But what I mean is that I could see if you like stealth games, I would, if I was a person that enjoyed stealth gameplay, I would absolutely finish Thief 2 after playing the first 2 or 3 levels. I was like, it's not my cup of tea, but even a game 16 years old, if we were playing a first-person shooter or a fucking a platformer or something, which I still would. That's what I'm saying is that like if I've never played Banjo-Kazooie and I played it for the first time the other day, that's a game I would finish today still. But I like 3D platformers. With Thief 2, I'm not going to finish it, but that's not because I don't think it's... I would if I like stealth games. So I think if you like stealth games, and that's a stealth game that you have not played, and you played Dishonored, you played Thief 3 because it came out in now. Or
nobody really needs that. Oh, that's Thief 4. Nobody really needs
Thief
to play
4.
Thief 3.
Sorry.
Thief 3 is also
if you played Thief 4, I'm just saying if you played the new Thief game and you
Yes.
never played any of the old ones, and if you played what's the other one I was thinking of?
Deus Ex.
Or any or Splinter Cell or any of the fucking Metal Gear. Although I guess that's older than first Metal Gear.
First Metal Gear was actually 97,
Yeah.
so it came out before, but it's very different.
My point, I agree. My point is, if you're like a stealth games and for some reason you haven't played Thief 2, I would absolutely recommend playing it because I could see how somebody who would like that game would love that game. I just don't like those games.
One thing we didn't touch on, and I knew this, the beginning part, because it was kind of technology in a way is kind of primitive. What did you think of the art design, specifically in, say, the cutscenes?
It was fine. It didn't leave much of an impact on me. I didn't think it was like, wow, that's really cool. But I also wasn't like, that looks cheesy. For now, you know what I mean? It didn't strike me as like, oh, that doesn't look good. But I also wasn't like, oh, wow, that's really cool. It was just sort of like, yeah, that is what it is. It gets the job done.
It's like
what
they could have done was they could have just made pre-done animation.
I thought that would have been better, yeah.
And I don't.
No?
I thought what they did was brilliant.
Oh, you mean in-engine animation or no? You mean like...
they can even do better animation than that,
yeah.
like pre-made. I'm talking like what they did was they took like 2D animated backgrounds and stuff, and they mixed it with live shadow, like basically shadow puppet theater. And
sorry,
I
misinterpreted what you were saying.
They did it very well.
I thought it was cool. I thought that the idea and the style was interesting. I just thought visually wasn't something about. I'm almost contradicting myself, but I thought it was cool looking and interesting idea. I just thought the art style wasn't as. It didn't blow me away with how cool the art style was. It was fine. And I thought it was an interesting way to do it, and it worked for the type of game it was. It didn't blow me away or anything. It didn't blow me. This game didn't blow me, so it gets a 0 out of 10.
So I think that about does it for Thief 2.
Yeah, I liked it a lot for what it was.
Yeah, and like I said, this game is on my at least top 5. Like, I love this game. I love this series, except the last one because it really sucks. And Eidos Montreal needs to get their shit together before they start producing more crap.
Fair enough.
For instance, man, I will say this about Montreal: they won me back with Deus Ex, Human Revolution, and then they immediately lost me with Mankind Divided.
That's what I have heard is a popular opinion, I think, but yeah. So
I think that's gonna do it.
That was the first episode of Bit by Bit.
Yeah. So just I guess keep playing games. We're just gonna rip that one right off.
Real original around here. We spent a lot of time writing that ending.
All right, we're good.